Until death, all defeat is psychological. It's all in your head. Let me say that again. Until death, your death, my death, any defeat that I might experience is all psychological. Let me give you an example. This is a go-to example that I share with my guys all the time. Riding a bike, learning how to ride a bike. Now think about this. How many attempts did it take you before you could successfully ride a bike? Many, right? Nobody ever got on a bike and just rode it perfectly the first time. Every single time that you fell off the bike, learning how to ride the bike, were you defeated? No. The only way in that example that you could possibly be defeated is if you quit trying to learn how to ride the bike. You with me? So defeat is purely psychological. In another video, I talked about how the two hardest things that you'll ever do, you've already done. Learning how to walk and learning how to talk, because prior to both of those things being accomplished, they were entire quantum leaps in your evolution. Now, there's a reason why I'm using that word. We're going to pick up with it in just a second. But just really briefly, before you could walk, walking before you could walk was an entire paradigm shift, right? It wasn't just like learning a new skill, adding a little bit. It was a paradigm shift. Talking. You didn't even have words to describe the concept of words. It was just sounds and noises. And then somehow you're talking. Being able to do those two things, I argue and I posit to you that you having accomplished those two things, you will never ever attempt to do something harder than those two things, because those were entire quantum leaps in your evolution, in your progression as a human, as an entity, as an organism. Now, when you're learning how to ride a bike, same thing. It's just a progression of you being able to do something or accomplish something. Now, when I say all defeat is psychological, until you die, all defeat is only psychological. When you're learning how to walk, when you're learning how to talk, never did it occur to you, walking isn't for me, talking isn't for me. That never occurred to you. You with me? Same thing when it comes to learning how to ride a bike. For most of us, it never occurred to us that bike riding isn't for us. We just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until we ride the bike. So anything that you're going after in life, if you're feeling defeated, notice that word, feeling. That a feeling is something that's created by how you think about things and the meaning that you give things. Does that make sense? Any feeling you and I have is based upon the thinking, how we're thinking about a situation or circumstance, and the meaning we're giving it. You with me? If I'm happy about something, it's because I think that this is a positive, whatever it is, and the meaning that I'm applying to it is a good one. Same thing if I'm sad or angry or frustrated. It's how you're thinking about it, and therefore the meaning that you're giving it. So if you're ever feeling defeated, it's because you're allowing yourself to measure your progression based upon external validation. When you were learning how to walk, you didn't worry about external validation of success or not. You had a singular drive to simply do the dang thing. And you kept showing up and putting in the effort and putting in the work until you became congruent with being the individual that could walk, that could talk. So the way to upgrade that terminology into adulthood is you were aligned, you took the action that you needed to take in order to become the highest version of yourself that you could imagine for yourself, that you could see for yourself. At that time, it was walking, then it was talking. Then at some point, you saw a highest version of yourself that could ride a bike. So then you started showing up and going after that. And when we're kids, our focus is naturally on internal validation. It's progression and elevation through internal validation. I want to do something, I get after it, and I keep getting after it until I'm doing the thing. That's it. We don't worry about the external validation. Now, what happens is somewhere along the way, as we get older and become smart adults, we fall into the trap of thinking from external validation. And so then when we take effort, when we make effort, when we take action, we're automatically measuring it against the external validation of, do I think I'm smart? Am I successful? Did I succeed? Am I happy? Am I not, right? All these different ways that we tie our state of being to external validation. And that's why nowadays we don't have an education problem, we have an application problem. Because we allow ourselves to apply meaning to things that is wildly inaccurate. Again, until you're dead, all defeat is psychological. As long as you don't quit, you haven't been defeated. Now, you naturally showed up like that when you learned how to walk, when you learned how to talk, when you learned how to ride a bike, and so many other things. And then again, somewhere along the way, we switch to thinking from a place of wanting and needing external validation instead of focusing on internal validation simply through the progression of showing up and putting in the effort on things. And this universally applies to everything. Building a business, making more money, growing your career, improving your physical fitness, improving your relationships, getting a girlfriend, getting a wife, being a better parent, being a better member of your community, building an awesome circle of friends, everything. So when I meet somebody who is in a rut, down bad, stagnant, on the ropes, right? Any phrase that you want to throw at it or use to describe it, I automatically know, by default, that man is stuck in external validation. He links his effort and his attempts at doing things to external validation. He hasn't made the switch. He hasn't flipped the switch to where the pursuit of progress and progression is purely a process of internal validation, where it's seen as, yeah, but I showed up and tried today. Man, I tried to get on that bike and ride it today over and over and over again. Fell, scraped your knees, banged up your elbows, and you just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. You didn't think about, oh, this is going to suck that I'm falling. The only thing you thought about is, yeah, but I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm doing it. And you actually got internal validation from the process of learning how to ride the bike. And then usually for most of us, once we learn how to ride the bike, it didn't stop there. Now you're trying to do tricks with the bike and do other things on the bike, right? It was a process of internal validation naturally. This is how we are naturally wired from birth. Somewhere, somehow, and I'm not going to get into the weeds on this, but somewhere, somehow along the way, we flip our thinking to focusing on external validation. Do I have the outcome or not? Right? Am I a success or not? And then if you don't immediately succeed, meaning achieve the outcome that you want right here, right now with this attempt, it's painful. It's hard. You never thought about, oh, it's too painful. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, I'm not good at this. Oh, this isn't for me, when you were learning how to talk, walk, or ride a bike. So really think about that. Once you shift to seeing and thinking about everything all the action you're going to take and everything you're going to do from a perspective of, this is a pursuit of my progression and elevation through internal validation of becoming congruent with the highest version of myself and being aligned with being the person, having the identity of the man who has the outcomes that I say I want, then it becomes a game, it becomes fun, and you love taking the action. You don't care so much about falling off the bike as much as you care about you made 100 attempts today to get on the dang bike and ride it. Do you see what I'm saying? Your mindset completely shifts to, you're grateful for an opportunity to make another attempt, make another sales call, take another course, read another book, talk to another person, make another rep, be consistent again, dial in your macros and nutrients, dial in your daily structure, another day of being dialed in, and another day of being dialed in, and another day of being consistent, right? Because now you've linked your presence and how you're showing up and the meaning that you're applying to things, you've linked it now to internal validation of becoming aligned and congruent with the highest version of yourself. So remember, until your death, all defeat is psychological. Go back to operating and showing up for your goals the way you did when you were a toddler and a kid, learning how to talk, learning how to walk, learning how to talk, and learning how to ride a bike. Bring that same energy and mindset to whatever you're working on now and watch what happens. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within.